Good morning, guys. This is session 16, instruction page 254 to 257. So open up your instruction book to that. We're going to be talking about perimeter and area. The first thing we're going to be talking about is perimeter. Okay, let me find... I usually have little drawing tools. I don't see where they're... Okay, you should be on page 254. I'm going to read it to you, and then we're going to talk about these problems. If you need to pause anytime during the session, you can to write down the answers. You have learned that you can find the perimeter of a rectangle by adding the lengths of the sides. Take a look at this problem. Marissa has 64 meters of fencing. She is using the fencing to border a rectangular flower garden. Marissa wants the length of the garden to be 20 meters. If she uses all of the fencing, what will be the width of the rectangular garden? Okay, so she wants the length to be 20. You can see that here. So whatever is on this side of the rectangle is the same over here. So we have a 20 and a 20. Okay, if you know 20 plus 20, that is 40. So these two right here and over here have to be the same as well, but you're adding it. All four sides have to be 64. So let me get out, let's see if I can find my drawing tools. There, okay. Let me get a new document here. So one side of your rectangle is 20. Oops. Oh, there they are. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So you have a rectangle. Sorry, I don't draw very well on the computer. Yeah. Okay, one side is 20. That's a 2 if you didn't know. Let's see if I can make that better. Here we go. This side is 20 of her garden. We don't know this one or this one. But we do know all these added together needs to equal 64. So we have 20, right now we have 20 plus, sorry, this is bad, 20 that equals 40 plus blank plus blank has to equal 64, and these two blanks have to be the same number. Okay, we're working a little bit with algebra today. Okay, let's get back to A. To solve the problem, do you use perimeter or area? Explain how you know. So we know that if you're adding sides up, that is what? That is perimeter, okay? So explain how you know. We know that because perimeter is addition area is multiplication. We're not multiplying, we're adding. So it has to be perimeter. How do you find the perimeter of a rectangle? You add all the sides. How much fencing is there in all? Well, the problem says Marissa has 64 meters of fencing total. So C is 64. D, what is the length of the garden? The length is 20. How many sides of the length does the garden have? There's two lengths, 20 over here and 20 over there. What is the total length of these sides? For D, 20 plus 20 equals 40. How much of the fencing is left to make the other two sides? Now, we haven't talked about this yet. So we know that the length is 40, the total is 64. So to figure out how much fencing is left, we need to do 64 minus 40. Okay, 64 minus 40 is going to be what? 24. Okay. So the answer to this one is 24. 64 minus 40 is 24. So we know that these two sides add up to 24. Okay. So if they had to be the same number, 24 divided by 2 is going to be what? 12. So the width is 12, the length is 20. Explain how you can find the length of the other two sides of the rectangle. What we did was whatever length we had, whatever fencing we had left was 24, and you divide it by 2. So you do 24 divided by 2 equals 12. All right, 255. You might need to pause to get all that down. I'm going to read this page to you, and then you're going to do the reflect at the bottom. Rectangles have length and width. To find the perimeter of a rectangle, you can add the sides in any order. Perimeter equals length plus width plus width. Since the opposite sides of a rectangle are the same length, you can rewrite the equation as 2 times length plus 2 times width. Use P to stand for perimeter, L to stand for length, and W to stand for width. P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W, or P equals 2L plus 2W. Now this is algebra, okay? The equation above is called the perimeter formula. Here's how to solve the problem for the previous page using the formula. So 64 is the total. You're multiplying 2 times 20 for both of the lengths, and plus 2 times W, the width. We don't know that. That's why it's a W there, not a number. Okay, we didn't know that to begin with. 64 equals 40. Now this 40 came from 2 times 20, and it changed it into a 40, plus still 2 times W. We still don't know this W. Now we have to subtract 64 minus 40 equals 24. With 24 meters of fencing left, the width of the rectangle must be 24 divided by 2, or 12 meters. Later in this lesson, you will solve problems about area. Okay. 1. The perimeter of the rectangular poster is 14 feet, and the length is 4 feet. Describe how to use the perimeter formula to write the width. Now, for this one, you don't have to write I'm not going to make you write the perimeter formula, but I do want you to write the equation to solve the perimeter for this rectangular poster. So that's what you're going to do right there. Moving on to 256. You might need to pause right here so you can do that reflect right there. I'm going to move on to the next problem. Okay, now we're on 266. Solving perimeter problems. Excuse me. Read the problem below, then explore different ways to solve perimeter problems. Okay, I want you to read this problem to yourself, and then I'm going to read it to you. Okay, it says, Keegan is building a rectangular play area in his backyard for his dog. The length of the rectangle is 30 feet and the width is 24 feet. What amount of fence does Keegan need to buy to make the play area? So it's a rectangle. The length is 30, the width is 24. Draw a picture to represent the fence. So you need to draw a rectangle and label the sides. You can use a color to highlight the sides that have the same length. See, they colored this one red and this one red and this one blue and this one blue. That's neat to look at. If you have any colored pencils or markers or crayons or highlighters, you can do that as well so you can see. Add the lengths to find the amount of fence Keegan needs to buy. So you need to add 30 plus 24 plus 30 plus 24. And then that will give you the answer. Model it. This is a different way you can do this. You can also use words to help solve perimeter problems. In this rectangle, the length is 30 feet and the width is 24 feet. There are two sides that have a length of 30 feet and two sides that have a length of 24 feet. Amount of fence, length plus width equals 30 feet plus 30 feet plus 24 plus 24. Now you will solve the problem from the previous page using a formula. Okay, what formula can you use to find the amount of fence Keegan needs and why? The answer to that is on this page right here. You just copy it over. Use the formula to find the amount of fence Keegan needs for the dog's play area. You write the answer for number 3. Number 4, Keegan uses the formula perimeter equals 2L plus W to find the amount of fence he needs. Does Keegan's formula work? Why or why not? The answer is it does work because you're multiplying the length and the width times 2. You can write that down for number 4. That one was hard. Which formula do you think is the easiest and why? That's your opinion for number 5. And 6, explain when to use the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. So this is like in real life, when would you use a perimeter? Okay, now you're going to do try it. 7 and 8. Use what you just learned to solve these problems. Show your work on a separate sheet of paper. So you are going to do 7 and 8 by yourself. I'll read 7 and 8 for you. It says Bianca is fencing in a garden. She wants the garden to be a rectangle, 15 feet by 10 feet. How much fence does she need to buy to make her garden? That one's pretty simple. Number 8. Michael glues pipe cleaners around the edges of a rectangular poster. He uses a total of 14 pipe cleaners with 5 pipe cleaners each on the longer sides of the poster. How many pipe cleaners does he use for the shorter sides of the poster? So this one you're going to have to draw out. He uses 5 for the long sides, and it's asking how many he uses for the width, the shorter sides. So that is session 16. If you have any questions, let me know.